CNN. He's still part of that crew. The mainstream media are just a poison in our society, right? I mean, they lie to us. They try to manipulate us. They censor the news. They don't even report news. They just give their opinions, and they call it news. So, these people in the mainstream media need some accountability. And this arrest of Don Lemon is certainly some accountability. So the indictment has come out. Let me read through some of this, and then we'll go through some of the audio that will be used in evidence against him. Object of the conspiracy, beginning on an unknown date and continuing to on or about January 18th, 2026, in the state of the District of Minnesota, defendants, and it lists all of them, including Don Ronaldo Lemon, conspired and agreed with one another and with other persons known and unknown to the grand jury to injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate multiple persons, including the clergy, staff, and congregants of the city's church, in the free exercise and enjoyment of the rights and privileges secured to them by the laws of the United States. And because of such persons having exercised such right, namely exercise of the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship, as secured by Title 18, United States Code, Section 248C, all in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 241, conspiracy against rights. See, so Don Lemon, he's been charged with what's commonly referred to as the Klan Act, as in the Ku Klux Klan. And, this law was passed because the civil rights movement was organized, started, and run by, of course, the main leader was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the great Martin Luther King. But there were other leaders all over the country. He was the main leader. And most of them were ministers. And they would organize in their churches. So the Democrats, remember the Klan Act, Don Lemon's been charged with violating the Klan Act. The Democrat, I guess, the Democrat activist organization, the Ku Klux Klan, would harass the civil rights leaders at their churches, attacking them at their churches, maybe even burning down a church along the way, okay? And that's why this very specific law was passed. And I know a lot of people on the left are godless and atheist and have all their coexistence bumper stickers on the back of their cars and all that business. But religion is a very important thing in this country. And being able to go to a church and worship, regardless of what your religion is something that is highly respected in this country. And if you remember, Don Lemon and his co-conspirators, they got wind that there was a minister at the church who was working for ICE. So they got together, which basically, in many ways, a lynch mob. And Don Lemon was nice enough to document this by filming every moment of it, before, during, and after. They had this lynch mob that went over to the church looking for the ICE minister, right? It doesn't get more lynch mob than that. And this is a great thing. It really is. The media in this country, since President Trump came down the escalator, have been out of control nonstop. I mean, the media have always lied to us. We've kind of expected that over the years. But what they've been doing it's over 10 years now. What they've been doing for over 10 years against our great President Donald Trump is certainly criminal. Your thoughts on the Don Lemon arrest certainly are welcome. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. There's the media have this idea that they're just allowed to go out and break the law. Whether it's getting classified information and releasing it from people that have stolen classified information from government agencies, or harass people while they're in their church with their family. And this is Don Lemon before they went to the church at the organizing session they had. Now, why can't he tell us? See, now this is key evidence against Don Lemon here. Why can't he not tell us? Because he doesn't want to give it away? Hold them to account? Well, that sounds like they're going somewhere to hold people hostage, doesn't it? They're going to hold people account. They're going to break into a church with a mob, a lynch mob, and they're going to hold the people inside that church into account for what? Can't tell you where they're going because he doesn't want to spoil the surprise, he says there. At the end, if you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the calls shortly. I'm watching a lot of this moral outrage from the left today while all this has been going on. They arrested a president of the United States, John Trump, what, 3 times? 2 times? I've lost track. How many times did they arrest Donald Trump? Bragg, Fulton County, and then Letitia, right? 3 times. So, they got him in Miami, they got him in Fulton County, and then they got him again in Bragg in New York. 3 times. Where was the outrage there? Oh, no one's above the law. Okay. Not that Donald Trump ever broke the law, but you know what? Don Lemon, he did. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, what's up? This is Jason Beatrice again from Massachusetts.
Hey, Jason.
I had a question. I kind of tuned out for a few days on media because it was stressing me the fuck out. Sorry for swearing. But do you know what the charge was that they charged Lemon with when they arrested him?
Yeah, I just went through the indictment. I went through the charges. So if you rewind to the beginning of the stream and you'll hear me go through it. And the main charge is that Klan Act, terrorizing people in a house of worship. All right?
Okay, but he's
what?
What they're trying to say is that he was just reporting on that.
Well, that's going to be his defense. But that's not true.
Okay.
See, this video that I just showed that Don Lemon recorded himself, right? He's meeting with them before it happened, right? So, I'm a media person, okay? Right? I'm a media person. I got a radio show, a podcast, a YouTube channel. I got what Don Lemon has. If I go down the street and there's some people planning a bank robbery, and I start recording it and covering it, and I go on the bank robbery with them, and I don't tell the police, am I not a criminal? Am I not doing it with them, or am I just a reporter? Oh yeah, I just happened to. And then by the way, when they're robbing the bank, I go up to the manager and start interviewing him. Like, what do you think you're doing here? All this way, right? Right? Do you think, oh no, Brian's just media with that? He's just embedded with those bank robbers, right? I know
I know.
right?
I know he was a ringleader. I know.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to get your exact.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to make a prediction. By the way, I'm drinking Coke out of a bottle. And I want to thank President Trump and Bobby Kennedy for making all Coke Mexican Coke, right? Because this is with the real sugar in it. All Coke is Mexican Coke now, and it tastes so good. Thank you, Bobby Kennedy. Thank you, President Trump, for giving us our Coca-Cola back, like the old days. This is what I know. Isn't that nice? And when Don Lemon is in jail right now, I'm going to have a Coke and a smile, and I'm going to be during the show. But here's the thing with Don Lemon. Okay, Don Lemon here. This is what I think happened. His whatever he's trying to do on YouTube or whatever, no one pays attention to. And I think he was a part of the group that had the idea to do this, so that he could go viral. I think he conspired
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I think happened. He may have been the guy. He may have been the one that came up with the idea originally in the first place.
I think he led the mob. Just saying.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for the call.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's good, bro?
Turn down the volume of whatever device you're listening to me on because of the delay.
Yeah. This is Robert, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Robert.
Hey, I just want to congratulate you, bro.
Well, thank you. I'll take that, and I thank you for your congratulations. All right, so here he is in the parking lot. This is, I do this thing. I learned this from Steve Kane, the shoe on the other foot test, right? You know what I told the previous caller. If I grabbed my microphone and there's some people down the street that are getting ready to break into homes in my neighborhood, and I don't call the police, and I cover it, and I go into the homes with them while they're breaking in and interview the homeowners while they're getting robbed, do you think the police would say, "Oh, Brian's just media. He's just covering this"? I don't think that's how it works. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Dave.
Hey, Dave.
You there? Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You say it's been, 14 hours? He's still in jail?
I haven't seen him come out yet. I've been monitoring. They had some microphones set up, and Jane Fonda came out.
Well, the thing is he should be able to bond down on that. Either that or he's bonded real well with his cellmate,
Now, you got to go through the process, and getting arrested on the weekend's the worst time to get arrested.
Maybe that's it.
Government shuts down.
It's some. Yeah. What do you think it is? Problem with a lot of these lefties that don't understand that if you're with somebody committing a crime and you're saying nothing or not trying to get away, you're guilty.
Well, I think he planned it. I think I told a previous caller. I think what happened here, Don Lemon was involved in the planning of this so that he could get a viral moment for his channel and try to be relevant. That's what I think happened.
Absolutely right. I agree with that.
Yeah. But still, you're not allowed. Anyway. You're not allowed to, as a journalist, you cannot go around with criminals and film them doing crime and not turn them in and just say, "Well, I'm a journalist. This auto theft ring that I'm riding around with, I'm just covering this for my YouTube channel." I know I didn't call the police or anything, and then I interviewed the people that got their cars stolen. But in the carjacking by this car theft mob, but I'm just a journalist and I'm just covering this car theft ring that's carjacking people. Oh, okay, Brian, you're just covering this for your YouTube channel. Oh, okay, give me a break. It's ridiculous.
The only protection they really have is with their sources. And really, when you get down to it, this has nothing to do with anything like that.
In the past, the Pentagon Papers case, I'm not going to go through all that stuff. If you don't know about it, you do some Googling. And the Pentagon Papers, Daniel Ellsberg gave classified Pentagon information about the war in Vietnam during the war to the Washington Post, and they printed it. And it was classified, and the government prosecuted and wanted the Washington Post reporters and editors to go to prison for espionage. And the Supreme Court ruled that while the person that is the leaker has committed the crime, the journalist receiving the stolen classified materials has not. But that's not what Don Lemon did. Don Lemon went with a lynch mob. broke into a church during church service, terrorized the people inside the church, and then interviewed them while they're being terrorized.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a good thing that that's not an IQ test, because he failed miserably, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Anyway, I appreciate it, Brian. You have a good day.
All right, you too. Yeah, if you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. You're all welcome to call in. Have any of you had the new Bobby Kennedy Trump Mexican Coke? All Coke is now Mexican Coke. And I remember on one of our MAGA cruises, my daughter and I, first thing we did when we got to Mexico was went to 7-Eleven and got a Mexican Coke. Now I can get this anywhere. All Coke is now Mexican Coke. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, bro, congratulations for being.
Yes, thank you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Les from City of Industry. How's it going?
All right. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to discuss that beautiful Coca-Cola you're drinking.
No, I'm talking about Don Lemon.
Oh, we want to talk about Don Lemon. Oh, okay. I mean, it looks like he's in a lot of trouble. It looks like he
could go to prison.
He should have thought this through.
He was terrorizing people. He could go to prison for this.
I mean, I'm trying to remember when a character this polarizing, this big of a journalist ever committed a crime like when has this ever happened?
I didn't do any Googling or anything. I was just using my mind. God, imagine that. But people do it. But I don't have any recollection of a media person being arrested. But Don Lemon, is he really a reporter, a journalist anymore? At best, he's an editorialist. And I mean, he's basically like me. He's like, I got my podcast, YouTube, radio show. He's like me. He's not even working as a journalist anymore, right?
Yeah, well, he kind of reminds me of like a Tucker Carlson. He used to work for one of the big box, channels, and now he's kind of, doing his own thing. But it's still, it's definitely. Everybody knows who this guy is. I mean,
well,
listen.
Famous. A lot of times you hear these stories. A lot of TikTokers, Twitch streamers, and Instagram influencers who do things that get them in trouble. What's the one guy that he's a Twitch streamer here in Florida, and he was live streaming and he wrecked his like $250,000 Lamborghini. He's one of these famous IRL live streamers, and he got in trouble for it. And he just got so it's not unusual for live streamers and YouTubers and Twitch people to break the law and go way over the line trying to go viral. It happens all the time. And Don Lemon, that's what he did. He was trying to go viral, and he did this. You can't break the law.
So my question is, like you've said before, he had a $30 million golden handshake, right? After he split.
They gave him $10 million, CNN. $10 million.
So what's he doing heating up that seat in jail? Shouldn't he already be bailed out by now? I'm just curious.
Well, he got arrested. They said a little after midnight, and a little after midnight. That's California time. That was 3 a.m. on the East Coast. And, it's a long day's process. He's charged with some very serious federal crimes. This isn't a DUI. The Klan Act, these were put in place. The Ku Klux Klan was a Democrat domestic terrorist organization that was terrorizing black civil rights leaders in their churches in the South. This is a major, major law. It's an anti-domestic terrorism law. So it's not, this is not some misdemeanor. He is charged with crimes on a law that is to stop domestic terrorists from terrorizing people. It's a pretty serious law. It's a big deal. It's not some DUI that you go and just get bailed out on the next morning.
I find this a bit ironic. They're going to use the Klan Act against Don Lemon.
Well, the Klan were Democrats, and Don Lemon's a Democrat.
Yeah, but the Klan was more against. Okay, anyways, you know what I mean. I don't need to say it.
The Ku Klux Klan what they were, you know what they were really trying to do is they were trying to stop blacks from voting Republican. If the blacks were voting Democrat, the Klan wouldn't have stopped them. They were after them because they were voting Republican.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed. Huh. It's nice. Fun day.
Right, but about that Coke, what were you saying that it's, or do you want to keep going with them on? Go ahead, sorry.
Well, what about it? No, it's Mexican Coke has been sought after because it had cane sugar in it. Bobby Kennedy got Coca-Cola to take that fake sugar and put regular cane sugar in Coca-Cola again. And it's, so
is this,
it tastes better.
Is this, so American-made Coca-Cola is now being made the Mexican way, correct, is what you're saying?
No, Mexico was making it the old American way, like it used to be made in America. But we used to call it Mexican Coke.
I had a friend that used to always, we'd go to taco.
Nah, I don't want to talk now. We got a thing going here. I'm not going to talk about Coke, but I appreciate the call. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, bro, you look stupid.
Yeah, well, that's good. All right, so let's get back to Don Lemon. See, now this is, in my view, this is Don Lemon. Well, let me play it, then we'll talk about it. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing. So here he is concealing the crime that they're about to commit. He is a co-conspirator. After we do this operation, he didn't say, Don Lemon reporting, and after I report from this, I'm going to go to this other event and cover that. He didn't say any of that, right? Not only does he show that he's a co-conspirator, he identifies himself as part of the act and the group. Listen. See, so he knows about multiple operations all over the city. So, see, he really messed up here because he knows this is wrong, okay? That's why in the beginning, he pretended to act like he just stumbled upon it. Oh, I saw these American flags. I thought these were MAGA people. Then I found out it's whatever her name is from the Floyd era, right? But then he knows all their operational plans and future events, which contradicts what he said in the beginning. This guy is dirty. And you know what? He is in big, big trouble. Here's another clip. Don Lemon in big trouble. Oh, so see, now he was invited. So he knew well in advance. He came to this spot to be a part of this illegal criminal activity. Right? That's what he just said. They're using, see, these people are so whacked when it comes to their liberalism. They have white people, what he's saying is they have white people here as human shields to protect them from Johnny Law because they're so woke, they think that white people can go out and do crime, right? And get away with it. Now, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work that way. Oh my goodness. See, on a serious note, and I don't want to laugh when I say this because this is very important. I think that Renee Good and Preddy were put in a position to get killed by these activists because they think that if white people, especially Preddy, if white people get killed, that the MAGA people in the country will turn against Trump and ICE when they see one of our own killed, meaning a white person. These are some real sick woke people. Let me rewind it and hear Don Lemon talk about his white human shields. Okay, so see now they are engaged in a criminal conspiracy to commit a domestic terrorist act, and Don Lemon not only was told well in advance and knows their future activities that they all of them. He's got a whole list of places he's going to go as they break the law, as they violate the Klan Act. He's also making sure that you don't hear the details, so that they can commit their crimes and no one can call the cops. That's crazy. And remember, he was indicted by a Minnesota grand jury. Okay? A Minnesota grand jury indicted Don Lemon. Oh, boy. All right, yeah. I mean, he's really getting into it, isn't he? I'm so glad he recorded all of this evidence to be used against him in a court of law. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Patriot, Kevin.
Yeah, speak up. You're cutting out. I can't hear you very well.
I said, "What's up, Patriot? This is Kevin."
All right, Kevin.
I got a quick question for you. Yesterday, I sent a letter, stuck it in the blue.
No, we're not talking about that.
mailbox.
We're not talking about any of that stuff. Get your own YouTube channel and talk about all that stuff. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'll take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and of course, we're talking about the arrest of Don Lemon, known in MAGA circles as Don Lemon. That's right, Don Lemon. You know, a lot of people have been messaging me and leaving comments on my YouTube videos. It's Lemon, not Lemon. President Trump, and in the MAGA movement, we call him Don Lemon. Okay, and you know, liberals, they don't get it because they don't call him that. Oh, you don't hear that over on MS Now or CNN, and they don't watch the Trump rallies, but his name is Don Lemon. So here is his old team over at CNN talking about Don Lemon's arrest. Yeah. Boy, with friends like Brian Stelter, Brian Stelter, he'd be a good witness for the prosecution. Oh, man. No, this did not fail him. Now, this is before Brian Stelter, who's throwing Don Lemon under the bus. Good for you. You must not have liked him too much. This is before it was released. They didn't know how these charges came about. So Stelter doesn't know here. But this was an indictment from a grand jury in Minnesota. So these charges come from a Minnesota grand jury where the crime was committed. Yeah, there you go. I mean, he's even got his old colleagues and his old network, you know, calling him out guilty. This was a live stream video. This is Don Lemon's husband outside the courthouse waiting for Don Lemon to be released. Oh my goodness, he got all dressed up too, right? On his skinny pants. Oh my goodness. And here he is again. You know, the evidence against Don Lemon is going to be himself. He is the star witness for the prosecution. After we do this operation, hear that? That's what we're doing here. After we do this operation, then we're going to, wow. Wow, this is confessions. He's going viral now. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Andre, South Carolina.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? Hey, you're a faggot, motherfucker.
Okay, well, I've been called worse. I don't know. It's Friday. You're looking for a date or something? I don't quite get that. You know, now this was an interesting thing because I had the live stream on. They had a bunch of microphones set up in front of the federal courthouse, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe Don Lemon's gonna come talk to the press. And then this woman came out and started to talk. I didn't know who she was. I didn't recognize. I thought, well, this must be Don's lawyer. And why does his lawyer dress like in an old lady tracksuit? I didn't know who this was. And then she started talking, and I recognized her voice. It's Jane Fonda. And oh my goodness, look at what has happened to Jane Fonda. And she was out there, of course, defending Don Lemon from everything. I mean, I want you to think about what this scumbucket did, right? Look at what he did. He conspires with these domestic terrorists to go with this lynch mob to a church, terrorize the parents, terrorize the children, and then he interviews the pastor that they're terrorizing during the terrorist event. You can't protest inside of a church when you breaking in and interrupting their church service. It blows my mind. And not only did he know he went over the line, if you remember, after he did this, he started going around trying to distance himself from them because somebody told him you broke the law, you could get arrested. And another thing about this, this is Minneapolis. This is Minnesota. Because Minnesota is so Democrat, the chances are by far that most everyone in that church, at least they were at the time, a Democrat. Oh, by the way, also in Minnesota, I got to share this. This is crazy. Some big stories have come down. Ilhan Omar's husband has this investment firm, right? This is supposedly the source of the $30 million wealth. Just came out today that Ilhan Omar's husband's investment firm with the $30 million valuation, no clients, and no records of managing anyone's money. Oh, Steve Forbes. See, there you go. So this investment firm has no clients, no records of ever managing anyone's money, and her husband haven't been paying their taxes. Well, by the way, while they're not paying their taxes, she voted against all the tax cuts for you and me in the big, beautiful bill. She wanted all of our taxes to get raised. Well, I guess she doesn't care what the tax rates are because her and her husband don't pay them. So what does it matter what the taxes are if you are not paying them? Now, Brian Stelter, while Brian Stelter may be throwing Don Lemon under the bus, he's still got some friends over there at CNN. Yes. Isn't it amazing? They arrested Trump in Miami in federal court. They arrested him in Fulton County. They arrested him with Bragg. And by the way, it wasn't just the president they arrested. They arrested two of his campaign managers, Manafort, Bannon. They broke into his lawyer's office and then ended up arresting and sending him to prison, Michael Cohen. And they arrested a whole bunch of other lawyers of his, Sidney Powell and others in Fulton County. They arrested, what was it, like between 16 and 20 people on Trump attorneys and everything that got arrested. So all of a sudden, they're, how using the Justice Department for political retribution with this. What were they doing for 4 years? By the way, CNN's a big critic of Don Lemon. They're the ones who fired him, okay? So why are they laying all this on Trump? They fired him, so they didn't like him, okay? That was a pretty big deal. They fired him. Are you kidding me? Wasn't a bad week for the White House. It was a great week for the White House. Oh, the Epstein files. Give me a break. You know, I was talking when I was talking earlier on this morning's live stream. There's two things that you hear from every liberal, whether they're with me on the phone or on CNN or MS Now, BC, or all that. Whenever they have a losing position, they mention one of two things: January 6th or Epstein. They mention January 6th or Epstein, and that's supposed to, yeah. That's what they say when they got nothing else to say. Oh, yeah, well, cover it all, yeah. That's good. Cover Don Lemon and his crimes. Dana Bash there. Oh, this is great stuff. Oh, here's another great one. Listen to this. This is an older one because this is when Don Lemon was still on CNN, right? He was talking about the Mueller report. Oh, okay. Maybe they can use that in court against him too. Don Lemon says no one is above the law. So there you have it. He's in a lot of trouble. He really is. Here he is outside the church, and this has actually made it worse for him. Yeah, protest. Yeah, right. Yeah, terrorism. Okay, so this is what Brian Stelter was talking about. That Don Lemon, even though he had prior knowledge and was involved in the planning and all this stuff, he doesn't go in with his camera crew until the disruption happens so that he can try to act as if he has no role here. He's just covering the news. and just coincidentally happened to be there, and that's just not going to fly. I'm sorry to tell you. All right, this was Fox breaking the story. Let me rewind that because I didn't have the video on, and I want to savor this. Oh, this is great. Oh, this was great. And were you guys watching me live this morning? You know, this is 8:25 in the morning, Eastern time, when this story broke, even though he was arrested about 3 a.m. Eastern time. And this broke, and were you guys listening this morning on the live program when I found out about this? Do you know how I found out about this? Jay from Jersey called in and told me. He's like, I didn't call in to talk about Don Lemon getting arrested. I was like, what? You know, so yeah, Jay from Jersey, he was my correspondent on this, broke the news. Now, this is before we knew. This indictment came from a Minnesota grand jury. Maybe. Don't get arrested on the weekend. That woke farmer. Yeah, well, we got them now, as I went over at the beginning of the stream. This is just a great day. You know, this country, we're so lucky that President Trump was reelected. We really are blessed because we were really going to a very dark place. You know, these domestic terrorists breaking into churches and terrorizing families in a church service. These were the people that would be running the country right now, right? Yeah, yeah. And there's some major accountability. And for all of these people that are saying that we're pulling out and there's a drawdown in Minnesota, explain this. They kept it secret. Nobody leaked out about that Minnesota grand jury in the Don Lemon case. That happened real quick. No one knew about, no advance knowledge. Everyone was shocked when the news dropped. Yeah, there he is. The confession. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. And, remember, the Brian Craig Show podcast is available wherever you get podcast, okay? And if you'd like to support my program, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of this and every episode. So if you go into the description, you can see a link to my Patreon page. Let me pull this up. And this was after the event, right? This was the day after the church event, maybe the day after, but I think this was the day after. Don Lemon went on this left-wing podcast. Mm. See, he did this little media tour after because someone had told him, maybe an attorney told him that he'd broken pretty serious law. So he went out there trying to make it look like he was just some journalist, some reporter covering some breaking news. And what we find out about is that he had prior knowledge and was a part of the planning of this criminal act. And this was only one of many that they were going to do on that day. Oh. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. Who cares? It's no big deal anymore. Nobody cares that you're gay, Don, okay? No one cares. This was one of my favorite. Todd Blanche, who was President Trump's lawyer in some of those New York cases. He's now Deputy Attorney General. And he was asked by this reporter for his reaction to the Don Lemon arrest. Did you guys see this today? This is hilarious. Watch. Oh man, there's a lot of very funny guys in the Trump administration, and they're in the second term. A lot of very funny people. That guy, that was hilarious. He's laughing at the guy. Again, if you're new, make sure that you subscribe. This is the Brian Craig Show, and I'm here live all the time, always taking live calls. I will be back in the morning with the latest on this and everything else that breaks tonight. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you next time. Take care.